Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 201, September 23, 2020. I'm Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross and Jimmy.
Summer is over!
It's almost October, and that makes me sad.
Well, why?
Because it could snow any day.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I'll tell you one thing. It poured rain today, and there was a lot of people going, this is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, rain's a good thing, especially when there's like fires and stuff going on.
Yeah, we've had such a lot. There are people starting to pray for rain around here, and today they got it. It was a good storm today. So,
hey, and I'm just happy there's no hurricanes in the Atlantic.
None? Are you sure?
At the moment, no.
Not a single one, or just not any headed towards you.
There's not a single one at the moment.
That should be cause for concern, right? It's one of those things where, hey, I know this normally happens right about now, but wait.
Well, last week there was about 6 of them. 6 storms, not hurricanes, but there were 6 storms out there. This week, 0.
See, it's like one of those things at work where there's always some sort of alert coming in, something broken, something down, something lost communication coming through the email. But then you get these days where there's literally nothing, and it's terrifying. Because now I'm like, okay, what is broken that is preventing all these alerts from coming? Because I know this isn't right. This is bad. And unfortunately,
all I gotta say,
most of the time, it is bad.
All I gotta say is that apparently the storm Paulette, which is a storm we've had to deal with a while ago, has reemerged as a zombie storm.
My God.
Oh, this 2020 thing is just getting sillier and sillier. Oh, goodness gracious. Hey, what do you think of my new digs?
Dig it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
More space.
A little bit. Not much. But
There's
yeah,
no epileptical machine behind you.
Yeah. I mean, you got space, right?
I can't unprogram my brain. I'm sorry.
Space is the final frontier.
If this is the final frontier, this is a little depressing for that.
Hey, look at it this way. I'm looking forward to moving into a shack. That's okay.
That's into a shack. Like,
I mean, I'll build a shed if I have to, and that'll be my house until I build something. But
Minnesota?
No, when I move. But going back to our earlier conversation, but we should probably go to the conversation we should be having, which is why we're actually here. What are we here to talk about today?
So last week we had an episode where we celebrated our 200th episode, so we actually have 2 weeks worth of news. But the thing that I think is the biggest story of the week is a story here about how Peacock finally got on Roku. And it looks like there was the time where Roku was basically asking for all the various app makers that were going to be using their platform. It looks like they've been asking for a 17% cut of the
Ad
of
revenue.
whatever of the ad revenue. And it kind of came down to, and it seems like what happened from what I understood is that finally NBC, who wanted to get the Peacock onto this platform, said, okay, fine, if you don't give it to us by this date, we're just going to pull all of our apps off of your platform. And then a couple hours later, a deal was made. So I'm not exactly certain what exactly happened, but I'm guessing somebody blinked and somebody was pushed over the edge here.
Well,
So
the market says that Roku was the winner. The market said that by the strong bump in the Roku stock price immediately after this, and the fact that it wasn't seen on the other side. Also, I mean, this is important because it sets a precedent. So, you know, between HBO Max and Peacock, it was a matter of who was going to blink first.
right,
Because the first one that strikes the deal sets the precedent that now Roku can stick to their guns with the same and say, hey, we're going to offer you the same deal. And if HBO Max doesn't take it, then they're just going to they're going to basically incur the wrath of their subscribers because Roku can do this. Or Android TV could not.
no,
Fire TV
probably could make
not
make an
as
effort
much because, like I said, Roku is the big player. They're the biggest right now. They have the largest user base. The fact that they made this agreement with Roku does not necessarily mean that you're going to get see any resolution on the Amazon side anytime soon. But if Amazon was smart, they would probably follow Roku's lead and say, hey, okay, that works for us too.
Yeah. Since it basically, for the most part, people have settled on the Roku's and the Amazons and the Apple platform. Those are basically the ones that most people use when they purchase one. When they're provided one for free, they're using Android TV often. But when you're going out and purchasing one, those are the ones you get. I'm surprised it's I'm surprised that there hasn't been more homogenization between all the platforms as far as what becomes available and everything. So it won't last long on for
and one thing to note, so Peacock is owned by Comcast, which has their own players and their own devices which are running Android TV. So like the whatever their stream thingy.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called, but yeah. So good news.
Have you guys tried Peacock?
I have. I like the fact that it's free with ad supported if you want for some stuff. That's how I watched that Psych movie 2. But I then looked through and I couldn't really find anything on the platform that would make me want to subscribe other than maybe the past episode or past seasons of Yellowstone, because I wasn't watching that when it first came out, and I finally saw the first episode and went, okay. It's like a new Dallas, but takes place in Wyoming. And yeah, I could see it. The app is laid out nice. It plays well. If for someone that was interested in the content and the originals that they have, then I think this is a huge deal, and a lot of people are going to rejoice. But nothing else.
No,
Well,
no. But I do have a. Go ahead.
The only thing I was going to say, it does have me a little interested. I mean, I think I've mentioned on the show before how high the Hulu Live TV is, right? And the idea I have is because I have CBS All Access already,
Mm-hmm.
and I think if I were to get the Peacock Premium service and then drop Hulu Live, keep the regular Hulu,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think it would save me some money, and I would get about the same shows as what I have now.
But that's NBC. You can already get the NPC shows on Hulu regular a day late.
Yes,
So
right,
you don't
exactly.
need Peacock unless you
Well,
want to.
it'd be for some of the live TV stuff,
Okay.
right? To make that coverage, right? You're right about the shows, right? But for some of the live sports shows that I might want to watch,
Okay.
I'm looking for it for that.
Yeah.
More so than just whatever shows.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But it's just an idea. I don't know if I'm really going to do that or not, but something I'm thinking about.
Yes. And for the record, a PC is not Mac or Windows. A PC is just a personal computer. It's every computer out there is a PC.
I know.
Right.
No,
Rabbit,
I'm backing you up. You use the right word. PC,
Right.
personal computer.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's fine. It's no big deal. Just, you could have been thinking I was talking about,
Yep.
the Commodore 64. I don't know.
Hey,
But,
Commodore 64 is a PC.
correct.
It is. And if you can stream Peacock on your Commodore 64, you are a god.
Yes. That's all right. So speaking of Android TV boxes by Xfinity, I wonder if they're going to get Android 11. That's right. Android 11 has been launched for Android TV, which means that it will be available with some of their newer features, which we've been coming out of the beta. Things like that, ease of logging into various Google accounts and things like that. But the one sad thing about this is it's very likely that you're not going to see this update on any of your current hardware. It looks like but other than Google's own ADT3 device, it's only going to be approved for the current generation of NVIDIA Shield. And so we're going to probably have to wait for other newer hardware to come out to see Android 11.
So yes, for those of you that don't know, the ADT, that's the developer test model. That's the whole point of the ADT3 is it's not meant for common everyday users, although anybody can go out and buy one for like $70. You can buy it directly from Anchor. All right, not Anchor, it's whatever the company is that made same company that makes my TiVo stream. But yeah, I mean, so they put it out there first, which is a no-brainer. I mean, that's what Google does. You put it out to your test or your vanilla devices like they used to with the Nexus stuff. And then it's will be available to other other models or manufacturers soon. It should be actually now, but it's up to those manufacturers to say, yes, we want to do it. So if you've got a Xiaomi Mi box, you're probably not going to get it unless Mi pushes it out. They have to go through it. And if there isn't a big demand from the customers, then it may not happen. So NVIDIA Shield, I would be a surprise to me if they didn't get it. The newer one, the older one, yes, I could see why that may not get the newest version, because they want you to have a reason to buy a new Shield.
Oh man, but I liked my old Shield. It works okay. Come on,
but
guys.
it doesn't have it. It won't have Android TV 11.
No, I guess not. That's okay. All right. If you are a fan of Apple TV, you may be a fan of the fact that Apple TV actually has Apple Arcade, a platform which allows you to play many games that are available on iOS platforms, then available for you to play on your TV. There has been a rumor, or it may not be a rumor, maybe something that just hasn't been announced but well known, that Apple is developing their own controller for the Apple TV. It is supposed to be sleek and white and supposed to be something we might be seeing in one of our next big Apple announcements, probably in a month or so. But I'm just hoping that it is not looking like without that. No, that picture would be fine. There's nothing wrong with that one. But if you bring up a picture of the Apple Pippin controller, let's hope it doesn't look like that, because it is sleek and white. But ugly.
Let's see if I can find it.
So the Apple Pippin was Apple's first attempt at a video game console. And oh my goodness, it was not good. There's a reason people don't remember this.
Yeah, that was back in the 90s.
Yeah. It's a lot like the original, that one we talked about before, and we turned out it was a PlayStation controller that everybody called the Boomerang.
It really does look like there's the picture of it now, but it really does, those cartoon batarangs, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. Keep in mind that was before Steve Jobs returned.
That's true. Back when Apple was trying a bunch of different things at the same time, and was happy to have you spend twice as much as you would for anything else for a similar product. So
that must have been during Gil Emilio's reign, I think, is what it was.
Possibly.
Oh, here's the one that I was talking about, right up there, that silver one at the top.
Oh yeah. Man, controller technology. Thank goodness.
You can actually buy those. They're out there. They made them into the wild. That was when they were talking about the PlayStation 3. That was the what they showed off with it.
There are so many bad controllers out there. We could actually have an episode just of, hey, let's look at these very funny, horrible controllers. Here, let's look at the controller that comes with the Virtual Boy.
Yeah. I mean, that one does look like it belongs on Batman's utility belt.
Yeah.
Oh, but controllers are difficult. I'm hoping. I know that the Apple TVs, Apple Arcade is an extremely popular way to play these really simple games, and if you like those games, it's a good deal to do it. Yeah, that's Apple's. It could be taking up all your video game time on your big screen TV. With hopefully, we'll see a brand new Apple controller that is not this bad.
And it's about time, Apple, because Roku has been playing games since the second Roku, or the Roku 2, back in 2011, 2012. There's a reason that the controller has an A and a B button on it at the bottom. It's so you can turn it sideways and use it as like a Nintendo controller. Welcome to the party, even though you're like 7 or 8 years late.
Well, yeah. Well, they just launched their service, right? Just maybe 3 or 4 months ago.
I know.
No, I think it's been over a year since Apple Arcade, but but it is compatible with all the different Bluetooth controllers and most of the USB ones, so it's fine. Trust me, Apple. If you ask me, sure, make your controller, but somebody else has already made a better one. I guarantee it. It's just.
Well, I mean, there's been third-party controllers available for quite a while.
Yeah, but what he was saying is, go ahead and do your development, even though it's not really necessary. Somebody's already made a perfect controller for pretty much everybody out there.
Somebody out there is going to like, this is my controller.
Yeah,
in fact,
I mean, because like some people don't like the Xbox controller, but the PlayStation, one of the PlayStation controllers is perfect for them. So I said, everybody out there is already a perfect controller for them.
Yeah.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, most people's going to get a controller based on which one they play all the time, right? If they're a Sony guy, they're going to get a Sony controller or one that looks similar to it. If they're an Xbox owner, then they're going to go with an Xbox.
See,
type
I just
controller.
have this because it works with my computer.
Right,
My
and yeah,
Windows
I
computer.
have a wired one of those in my on
Yeah.
my main computer. But this is my favorite controller because I like the analog sticks out here. That's where I want them.
Mm.
It's great. I love that.
Mm.
It's so good.
And right here is my controllers.
Hold on a second.
Oh, but there are so many.
In other words, I don't own one.
Well, first of all, there are games that I know you'd like to play. Trust me.
There's a couple of games I play.
All right, since
when
dug
you
this
guys
out the
start
other
talking
day.
about controllers, oh, okay, there you go.
This is the Google one that
Oh,
came with
yeah.
my ADT one. My only complaint about it is it's got the Xbox 360 style battery thing.
Yeah.
And there's no rechargeable battery. This thing eats batteries like crazy if you forget to turn it off. And AA's. But it's comfortable. It's set up the way you like with the buttons together, but they're down at the
They're
bottom in more
yeah.
of a PlayStation.
That's the PlayStation.
This is like if the Xbox controller knocked up a PlayStation controller, this is what the baby would look like.
Oh, what a cute baby.
The nipples are in the right place, but the buttons are, look like they're the A, B, X, Y instead of random shapes. What is a triangle? What does triangle signify anyway? Versus a square or a circle? Oh, it means jump. You sure?
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about Amazon for a second here. Amazon's Fire Stick. They're apparently going to be having an event next week or so where they're going to be talking about all their new things. And one of the things that kind of is leaked that they're going to be having a new Amazon Fire Stick Lite. Apparently, they used to have a $35 Fire Stick that people really liked, and they got rid of it. And so now the new rumor is that there's going to be a new low cost Fire Stick hookup option that's going to come out. It's probably going to be about the same price. That gives you the same capabilities or more. It could be even having things like 4K or something. We'll see what it comes out with, but we might be seeing a new Fire Sticks next week.
Is it just me, or does the smile look sarcastic? It's almost like, yeah, we got you to buy our product, and we're gonna remind you every time you see it. Because I mean, they've now got it on the remote. With this one. Notice it's only smiling on the one side.
Well, it's smiling fully, but it's really pulling one side up.
Exactly. That's why I was saying that's kind of sarcastic.
It's sly, definitely. It's maybe it could be taken as sarcastic. Also, if you turn it upside down, it's a great frown. It really is.
Yeah, I don't know. These sticks like this. I mean, yeah, I know the Chromecast was kind of popular when it first came out, and I guess because it was, at such a cheap price point, right, and all. But I don't know. And Clyde has said this on the show before, right? The processing of these sticks are just not up to par, right? So
it depends
I
what
wonder.
You're trying to do.
Well, true. I mean, if it's not your primary television, okay, I can kind of see it. But nobody, I don't think, is buying this for the primary television.
No, most people are, and that's the thing, and that's always been the thing that's irritating to me, is the fact that the stick form factor is what most people use. Most Roku users out there are using a Roku stick. They're not using an Ultra like me. Or I had the Roku 4. Because most people like the small thing that tucks away behind your TV and you never see it again. The fact that every once in a while it needs to be rebooted, they're okay with that because they don't have to see with it. My big deal is typically I want Ethernet because as a network guy, I know that Wi-Fi is little more than voodoo. And
Not
there's no guarantee it's
inaccurate.
going to work. But yeah, and also this shouldn't be compared with a Chromecast because this is like a Roku, or an Android TV or whatever. It just happens to be small in a small package, and this is also the cheaper version. So this doesn't have. They don't know exactly where it's going to fall. Is this replacing the current bottom priced one, or is it going to be cheaper? And we won't know until the actual announcement.
Yeah.
But yeah, it more options is always good.
Sure.
And I will say my parents, their Roku's on all the time, and it's a stick. And yeah, they're small. They don't have a lot of room for memory, or big processors or cooling, and that's annoying to me. But most people don't care.
Yeah, I guess if you think about it, yeah, most people don't buy a, $2,000 or $3,000 OLED television.
Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, I just couldn't see sticking one of these things on my OLED TV.
I will say if you buy this, I'll bring up the picture. If you buy this, you better hope, or they're banking on the fact that your HDMI slots are on the left side of your TV and not the right. Because if you flip that thing over to plug it in on the right side of your TV, then you're looking at the frown all the time.
Well, no, way beyond the backside.
Not all TVs. A lot of TVs have them along the side, so it'll stick out a little bit.
That's horrible.
And that's actually.
And I think mine are on the right side.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying most manufacturers put them on the left side, but some do put them on the right. On the side is important. That is an important feature if your TV is wall mounted, because if your TV is wall mounted, in order to plug new things into the back, you have to take the TV off the wall. There's usually at least one or two HDMI slots on the side so that you can plug stuff in on the fly without taking it down. But
yeah, I've got a slot on the side, but it's on the right side.
You'll be having a frown all the time.
All right, guys, here we go with a new feature coming from Sling TV. Just launched today. It is Sling Watch Party, where you can get on the TV and watch up to 4 of your friends live TV. In fact, it's in beta right now, and you don't even they'll let you even do it with your Sling account if you don't. It looks like they're right now even letting people try it for free. So this allows you to sit and watch TV with your friends and be able to chat at the same time. I feel like everybody's doing this, Clyde. I think it's catching on.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
This is interesting because it's bending the rules for what normally is allowed and what normally can be transferred over the internet, and I love this because I like it being these things being explored.
Well, okay, it's not being transferred over the internet. I assume that this follows the same rules as everybody else, that anybody that participates must already be a subscriber, so they're going to watch it on their own stream as they normally would. This one is different because it's actually allowing you to use a webcam, and it's facilitating the meeting. Whereas like the Amazon screen party, whatever they call it, you can do a chat text, but I don't think you can do video or voice. But yeah, I mean, good for Sling. They're catching up.
Whatever,
Yeah.
Sling.
Yeah, I agree, Matt. I think everybody's jumping on the bandwagon now with this.
It's one of those things that you're better late than never, because eventually, if you don't do it, you're gonna get backlash from your customers of, come on, where is this thing that everybody else has already done? So yeah, I just don't know if it's one of those things where we should be surprised anymore.
Well, I know, but it's being live TV because that's what Sling TV focuses on. It's going to be sports related. This actually could be really good for those small group of friends and want to get together and watch
No,
the game.
absolutely, I see the use.
Yeah, I'm wanting everybody to explore this and it to become. I want this to be a practice that is well established. Let me put it that way. That's why I'm happy for it. But I'm also hoping that the cable industry slowly dies a death and burns into a great grave, or watery death. I guess that watery death would be fine too. But mostly because I think the Play TV platform, it's fine, I suppose, but it's slowly going away. In fact,
all I was saying is I think we're at the point where it's not news anymore. Where if the next story that we get that is so and so has a watch party, you go, okay, awesome, add it to the list next.
Well, I was just going to say the news of the fact that it seems like, according to a marketing company here that's looking at keeping track of the TV industry, is noticing that there's a huge number of cord cutters that are going to be that's going to be happening this year thanks to the pandemic. It looks like up to 6 million different people will be cutting the cords.
It already have.
As this year, over 6 million households will cut the cord, and so that will be a total of 31.2 million in the United States. And they think that that basically will go up to 46 million by the year 2024. This is so interesting. Their graph shows their percentage change actually going down a lot. So it's decelerating the cutting.
Well, it's not that it's decelerating. It's just that of what's left. So if you get to a point, we're at that plateau where even a large change is only minimal, because you got your steep declines and then it just kind of plateaus it. So yeah, I mean, 6 million up from 40, or was it? It was 43.0 million, and now it's 46.6. So that's what, 3 million increase. So yeah, as opposed to 43 up from 39 and 39 up from 35, so.
Yep.
Yeah. Small percentages, but they're still big numbers.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, absolutely. And I bet if you were to ask the question, how many other households have at least streaming services, I think the percentage would even be higher than what you're saying here.
And they said that the pay TV households are those with a subscription to traditional pay TV services. But non-pay TV households are those that canceled their subscription and have never had any sort of pay TV. So,
I mean, think about when the millennials get to be in their 40s, right? And it's going to be way higher than this.
Well, they wouldn't really be counted because they never had it. So, so they were always non-pay.
But you have to count those, right? I mean, I realize they don't put it into
no, I'm just saying they're not counted in the metric of how many people canceled, because they were never on that side. They were always on the cutting side.
Right. Right.
Like my kids have no concept of non-streaming TV.
Right.
So yeah, they'll never sign up for cable.
Well,
Right.
they have no.
And that's what's going to push them over, push cable companies over the edge. That's what's going to finally kill them. When that generation becomes of age, yeah, they're done.
Well, maybe they'll get used to it because they'll have to deal with a new style of streaming TV that they can only watch, in the traditional method. Maybe they'll get the new Air TV from Sling TV. This is a antenna device that you can put in your home that will pick up your over-the-air signal and will be able to let you hook up a hard drive and record things if you wish, or just using the Sling TV app. Yes, it is for the same company. Can use it to watch those over-the-air signals right on your smart device. Doesn't record to use this. You do not need to have an account with Sling TV. You can use it all in-house and and connecting directly to it. And you can even watch your stuff remotely from anywhere within the United States. So, this device looks to be available now, and it's going to be $199.
So this is the evolution of the Air TV Android box
Right.
that I was smitten with several years ago, because it did this same thing. If you added on the antenna or the over-the-air receiver, then you could watch directly on the device. But that one really didn't take off due to the fact that it was primarily Sling-centric.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool. It's cool to see that they're still plugging away. We need more of this, because a lot of the companies that were doing this before, like the HD home runs and stuff like that,
Yep.
Channel Masters, kind of don't hear much about them anymore.
No, you don't.
So,
well, HD Home Run, he was doing the cable card thing, and unfortunately, the rules were changed for cable card recently, where they are no longer required to provide you with one. It is if they have one, and the the change in the language says, "Oh, don't worry, they'll do it because it's the best for the customer." Guess who really pushed for this change? The cable companies.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
sure.
I still have one of those that without a cable card now. And so, hey, so we were talking about watch parties. Guess who else is doing a test of watch parties? That's right. Just because everybody else has done it, let's add one more to the pile. Disney Plus is doing a test of watch parties available for specific people. This test is coming out to random people in Canada. That's right. It's those Canadians that get this first. Lucky guys. Where they can watch things like The Mandalorian or Hamilton with their buddies and and watch it together with the chat interface. This is great. Keep it up. Go for it.
As I mentioned before, this is where you go, great, add it to the list, moving on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless Jimmy's got something to say about it.
Speaking of maple syrup.
Someone's getting high on their own supply of maple syrup.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, it's another one to add to the pile, no doubt, right? But yeah, I don't know. I have to be honest, though. I've never really felt compelled to do a watch party with anybody, or say, hey,
we've noticed over at Movie Party.
You want to watch? Maybe it's my busy schedule or whatever, right? But it's not that I wouldn't want to. It's just
you just don't feel compelled.
Yeah, no.
The power of Movie Party does not compel you.
Well, but seeing all this, seeing everybody doing it like this makes me want to try it, right? But
Okay.
But I guess there's some people that the first time that anybody ever had this, right, is like, oh, hey, let's do this, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's people like me that like, I don't know if I need that.
No, and I
maybe
totally
once ever.
I don't watch anything with other people outside of Movie Party. So yes, no, right. I totally get it.
Right.
Oh, that's wonderful. So guys, guess what? We've been wondering what the new name for CBS All Access is going to be. They've announced for a while that it's going to be and have a new name. They're apparently, according to the stories here, is that it was actually a problem because naming rights was really weird, and they had to work making this merge with CBS and Viacom, and they finally got that deal settled, and so they've come up with a brand new name, Paramount Plus, which is the name they've basically been using everywhere outside the United States.
Okay.
Quite frankly, bring back the mountain. Thank you. I'm all for the mountain. That's great.
I'm just glad that they stopped making promises they couldn't hold or uphold. Because it's my big complaint about CBS All Access was always that it was some access, if that. It was not all access. Then we got with more access at one point, but still wasn't all access. And I mean, yes, it sounds like I'm being sarcastic and I'm making a joke, but several people have come to me and complained about CBS. They saw the name All Access.
Yep.
And they signed up and then found out that the things that they wanted weren't even on there. Because either they were still holding it back or they had agreements where that stuff was elsewhere. But yeah, Paramount Plus I think is better. Plus signifies that, hey, it's going to be some stuff plus some more.
And also that that iconic Paramount logo, quite frankly, nostalgia bombs me a bit. I love it. So yes, bring it back. Bring Paramount back. It's sad to see that brand kind of wither and fade. Remember, everybody, the MCU started with Paramount.
Weren't they bad stewards and gave us like the Fantastic Four?
It's possible, but they also gave us
horrible Spider-Man movies.
They also gave us the first Iron Man,
like back in the 70s.
No, the first one, the Iron Man movie that started.
Oh, was that on Paramount?
It was actually Paramount. Yeah,
okay.
Actually, a couple of them were Paramount first. So I like the very first.
I mean, the Paramount name is not bad, right? And it does bring that nostalgic sense to it. Like what you're talking about, Matt. But why didn't they just call it CBS Plus?
Because it's primarily the stuff that people are going there to watch is primarily Paramount stuff. It's the Star Trek channel, and Star Trek is Paramount.
The movies are Paramount. The TV shows are CBS.
But the whole thing is owned by Paramount.
Yeah,
they just had agreements with CBS over the years, or CBS and Paramount are affiliated. I don't know how that all works.
One bought the other eventually. It's all the same now. It's Hollywood, half of Hollywood.
Yeah, I think Paramount's a better name. Kind of like with HBO Max folding everything into the HBO name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine.
Are there any extra content with this name change?
As of right now, nothing's been announced for extra content. No,
but now you've got lower expectations, and people stop complaining about. Wait, this says all access, but I can't get whatever. Now
so it's Paramount Plus with no plus.
No, it's Paramount Plus CBS stuff.
But you said there's nothing new being.
It's more than it's more true than CBS All Access when you only have some access at most.
I mean, you understand what I'm saying. The plus seems to imply that there's something more being added.
Yeah,
and nothing's really being added.
Yeah. I would say the name is more literal because it's Paramount Plus other stuff like CBS, whereas CBS All Access wasn't all of it. It gave you some access, if that.
All right. Okay.
Yep. And all it took was years of negotiation and $30 billion.
All right. Last story of tonight is from last week. We have a story here about Apple They made an announcement about a bunch of new products last week. But streaming stuff that we'd be interested in is that they have a new Apple One bundle that is a featured bundle of a bunch of different services. In particular, of interest, you can get yourself the arcade, music, and TV Plus. And iCloud too, though that's not exactly streaming, but sure, those three, all for $15 a month. This actually is, if you were interested in these platforms, a pretty good deal to bundle all those together. So yeah, I don't see a problem here. Go Apple, go Team Apple if you're into that.
I got to say, I'm interested in this because right now I pay $15 a month just for Apple Music. Right, that's for the family plan, and I also have an iCloud account for both myself and my wife. So, and I pay $3 a month each on those. So I'm already paying $21 a month already to Apple for those services. So yeah, I mean it's that the higher one, the $29 plan is starting to look a little appealing because I get to up my storage from 200 gig to 2 terabytes. And then I get all the other services. I don't know if I would use all of them or not, just to be honest, right? I mean, Apple Arcade, I mean, I might try a little bit,
Jimmy, when he gets off air, he's like, yes, Apple Arcade. He closes the blinds and he turns down the lights, make sure his webcam is covered, and then he starts playing games.
And plays
I'll admit,
Infinity Blade.
I'll admit, if I end up going for this, I will give it a try, and I'll let you guys know if I like anything on that service or not. But the one thing though, this new Fitness Plus did look. I mean, I can't go to the gym anymore, right? So that does look a little appealing to me. News Plus, I don't know. I mean, maybe if they're just going to throw it in there with it, okay, But in some of these services look, pretty appealing, especially the 2 terabyte iCloud storage there with that $29 price.
Yeah, they do have a family plan. It does get you the base products for up to 6 members for a total of $19.95. It's $20 a month for 6 users with 200 gigs of iCloud storage. So that's not bad.
That's not a bad deal either.
But if you're really looking for the 2 terabytes of storage, you're going to have to go at least with one of your accounts up to that $30 amount, or they probably have another.
But as he said, he doesn't need 2 terabytes. But
no, I need more than the 200 gig.
Oh, gotcha.
I have 200 gig now is what I have.
What do you have that's 200 gigs worth of stuff? Pictures? Movies?
No, documents, presentations.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Gotcha. I'm bumping up against my 100 gigs of Google Drive.
I know. And I'm kind of getting maybe somewhat like 70% close to my free.
And they don't even charge me for my pictures because that's free.
I use over 100 gig of iCloud storage, and I use about 70 something gig on my Google Drive. Right. So having the more storage would be good for me.
You guys are nuts. All right. Well, that's the story for this. The stories for this week, guys.
All right. Well, that brings us to the point in the show where we like to thank the people that matter the most in our lives. And no, we're not talking about our significant others. We're not talking about our children because why would we? No, we are talking about the patrons. No, I say why would we? Because they don't listen to this show.
Sometimes my son does, just so you know.
No, but the people that do listen to this show and they do give a damn whether we do it from week to week, those are the patrons, the people that decided to take it upon themselves to support us monetarily. And this is the week where we get to announce the free ride is over. All you patrons, the charges are coming because on the bright side, the content is coming. All the issues that I had behind the scenes, which were mostly due to my own failings, have been resolved. The machine is oiled and working, and we will be posting content weekly. So if you are a patron and you were missing that RSS feed, it will be coming. And if you are not a patron and you would like a RSS feed, a custom RSS feed created just for you, become a patron. Patreon.com/The VOD Squad. Also to note that RSS feeds have been published to all of the major places. Looks like still not live on Google podcasts for whatever reason. I don't know.
Boo.
I went through before the show and double checked their terms just to make sure that all the boxes were checked, that there wasn't something that would disqualify us, and still nothing. So maybe they're taking forever, but it is on iTunes. It is on Spotify. It is on Deezer if you want to download it in France. iHeartRadio, everywhere. But Patreon will get it first. So patrons, you're welcome. And again, we thank you.
Indeed.
All right. Well, then, let's get into some rants and some rapes. All right. Rants, raves. What do you guys got?
I only have one rant.
Okay.
The laptop I'm using right now in order to do this podcast has been, for some odd reason, and I don't know why, been rebooting and ends up in the BIOS with an error.
Wasn't that the one you bought at like a military surplus store like 2 years ago?
No, that one, that guy's right there, and he's still running. That
Oh.
HP is great. No, this is a really nice gigabyte laptop. I bought it because I wanted something thin and light enough that I could take with me if I needed to, but still powerful enough that I could do the show if I needed to. It's got a 1060 inside, and every once in a while I walk in the room and it's in the BIOS and it says there was an error. Do you wish to? And I've seen it crash on me once. It's blue screens. So now I'm going to have to take a good, hard, probably long memory checks and hard drive checks and all that.
You should pay attention to the CPU temp. Because the problem with laptops is that the thermal grease dries out and then the cooler doesn't do a good enough job.
Well, last weekend, the other thing I did is I actually took this and I flipped it over, and I noticed that the the dust was absolutely caked on parts of it. So I took it apart and blew it apart, and then all those things. But just today, before I started the show, I walked in the room, and there it goes. I was like, crap.
If you install just a software to monitor it, like I'm using one from MSI that sits in my taskbar. So right now I see my GPU or my CPU's at 33 C and my GPU's at 31. And that's actually pretty low for streaming. But that way I always see it, and it's color coded. So when you look down and you see, wait, there's something red, okay, there's a problem. But I'm willing to bet that that's probably a good part of your problem.
Maybe. I don't know. That's just my rant this week because I wanted this I didn't want to have to deal with that. Well, we'll see if I move over to a different machine or something else like that. I don't know.
All right, Jimmy?
Yeah, so there is a TV show on Apple TV Plus called Ted Lasso.
Lasso. Like Wonder Woman's lasso of truth.
Lasso, yeah. Sorry, my German. But
not Camp Laszlo. That was a great show. I liked Camp Laszlo.
I want to pronounce S's like Z's a lot of times. But anyway. But yeah, great show. I mean, this show, I'll try not to give away too much here, but this is an American football coach that goes to England to coach a soccer team in England, right? And there's a cultural difference and all that he goes through that you see throughout the show, and then, but it's one of those, it's one of those shows that there's funny bits to it, there's sad bits to it, there's maybe just a touch of drama here and there sometimes, and then there's like these feel good moments in the show as well. So it gives you a little bit of everything, right? And Matt, I don't know if you watch any of these shows on Apple TV Plus, but not for kids, right? There's some strong language in it, but entertaining show. It's not going to make your top 10 lists of great shows or anything like that, right? But it's a good, solid, entertaining show. So
See,
if you got Apple TV Plus and all, yeah, I definitely recommend this show here.
I'm interested to see how they work it going forward, considering this was based, they took a commercial and developed it into a TV show. Because Ted Lasso character, as most people know, was created for the NBC Sports, as a commercial for NBC Sports covering Premier League. So they created this fake character, and then people were like, that's great. I mean, because it can be done. It can be done good. It can be done bad. I just finished up watching a series about a sports announcer. I think we talked about this previously. Brockmeyer, which was created from a Funny or Die sketch. It was just a standalone sketch, and then they said, let's make a TV show out of it. Okay. That's the first show I think that has been tempting me to try Apple TV Plus. I haven't really cared about anything else enough. We'll wait. We'll probably wait till it's done, and then I'll binge it.
Yeah, and interesting thing about this, and I just mentioned it, but I want to hit it again. The thing is, most TV shows that you watch, typically if it's a comedy, then it's all comedy. If it's a drama, it's all drama. If it's a feel good show, it's all about being a feel good show, and this one kind of combines all of those together into one package, right? And that's what kind of makes this show a little bit unique, right? I haven't seen a show kind of do this before.
They made a British show for American audiences. Is what I've been hearing. So it's a straight up British show, but aimed at Americans.
And I thought that's what The Office was.
No. The Office was the Americans trying to Americanize a British show.
Okay.
Because The Office already existed.
Right.
But
but yeah. So it's I mean, it's mostly British actors in the show, right?
Because it takes place in Britain, right?
Yeah, it's in Britain. So and there's two American guys over there. There's the coach, and then he's got an assistant coach that comes with him, right? And then that's it. Everybody else is British, right? But good show. I'm enjoying it. I think I'm about maybe 7 or 8 episodes into it, right? So really enjoying that one. So yeah, if you got Apple TV Plus, I'm up above there. Quite.
I just watched the trailer. It looks really good.
I'm in the A position, and now I'm in the C position as well.
Okay.
What was he? Okay. No, we'll deal with that later. But
okay. So yeah, recommend it.
Word. All right, and then I'll keep this short. Did anybody watch that show Ratched on
I heard of that one.
Netflix?
I heard
Most people remember Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over a Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Nurse Ratched. Well, they created a show based on a character that never had any backstory. Which at first I didn't know if I was gonna be interested. But then I remember Jeffrey Maguire has made a career of writing backstories for people who didn't remember. Wicked was a huge phenomenon. And I loved all of his books. So I thought, oh, maybe they're going to kind of go in that same. So I started watching it. I'm about halfway through the season, and I still don't know how I feel. I don't hate it, but I don't know if I like it. I'm just it's a weird, meandering story that I don't really feel like motivated.
Is the setting back in the 70s?
No, the setting is in the late 40s, right after World War II. So she's young or younger.
Okay.
So it's like way before that.
Okay.
And I just went through this with the whole Perry Mason show, which that one I had some very serious complaints about. For the most part, it was okay. I generally liked it, aside from some glaring issues. But yeah, this one, I don't know. I'm curious to see where it goes, and I think by the time I finish it, hopefully I'll have an idea if it was good or not. Because right now I'm like, I don't have a reason to care about any of the characters. And I'm like 5 episodes in. So.
Yeah. So, but is it a drama?
It is. It's a drama.
Okay.
It looks like a dramedy.
But there's not really much to laugh at.
It's trying to.
It's not like tongue in cheek, or it's
No.
not like Fargo. Like the Fargo shows are dramedies. But I don't know. I really don't know. And that's why it's on here. It's kind of a rant. It's kind of a rave. It's like in the rant rave purgatory.
So I just watched the trailer for it as well, and I have to say, you could, if from this trailer, it's the kind of show that if you had the right mindset walking into it, you could laugh your ass off watching it.
That's what I thought going into it. I thought it was going to be fun, and it's kind of not. Because, I primarily, if I don't know what something is, as long as I know I'm going to probably get a laugh out of it, I'll walk into it.
Right.
I don't.
But you're having trouble laughing at it. It's just too.
Yeah, I don't think there were any jokes. There was any. I mean, I say joke lightly because.
Right.
I don't mean like literal, set up a punchline. But it just. I haven't seen anything fun about this show.
Sarah Paulson is the main character.
And so it's another one of these situations. There was another show that I watched a while back where I don't know who I'm supposed to root for. No, I'm watching that Raised by Wolves show. The Ridley Scott show.
Oh yeah.
And as predicted, it's beautiful. But it's kind of the same thing as I don't know who I'm supposed to be rooting for. Both sides are kind of terrible. I don't know. And I'm just kind of lost.
You like to have a good guy and a bad guy. Let me guess.
I like to have clear lines, even if I'm rooting for the bad guys.
Right, I get it.
I like to have a clear understanding of, this is The Sopranos. The Sopranos is the perfect show where you are completely rooting for the bad guys.
Sure.
Terrible people doing terrible things, but, great. This one, I kind of don't like anybody. And if I don't like anybody, you got to have something that you like to keep coming back to it. You know, there's not. I don't know what the stakes are. I guess. Yeah. So I don't know.
I'm guessing you really enjoyed watching The Fifth Element.
Oh, I love The Fifth Element.
Because you knew exactly who was the good guy and the bad guy.
Well, and it was fun.
Very clear. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
went into
But
that
it's very
not
clear.
knowing anything about the movie. It was one of those things where, hey, what's playing right now? We could catch this Fifth Element movie. Okay, fine. And then was pleasantly surprised. Absolutely.
I absolutely enjoyed it too, and I absolutely said, boy, they're just not trying at all to be in any way, kind of good guys, kind of bad, and no gray in this one, very black and white, and I did enjoy that for its essential push for that kind of a movie. It was a good choice for that.
Although last night, and last night I was flipping through Amazon looking for. I watched a documentary on the police, and like the band,
The Sting?
not
Sting, yeah, okay.
it was the Andy Summers. I Survived the Police documentary, but and then afterwards I was flipping through, and I started watching a TV show I didn't know anything about called Danger 5. In the first 5 seconds, these Nazi blimps come along and fly away with the Eiffel Tower. And I'm like, okay, what is this? And then it goes to these like French resistance people, and the Nazis come in and they kill them. And then the camera zooms in on the dog, and then the dog says something in German. It's like, okay, I'm in. I'm in love with this show. It's an Australian show. It's essentially live action Team America from like 2012. So definitely a rave. I watched the first episode, was brilliant. And
where do you watch this show?
Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. So look for Danger 5. Danger 5.
Watching the trailer right now. Oh, it looks so wonderfully bad.
Oh, it is. It is hilarious. Yeah, the whole first episode is about a plot to kill Hitler. Hitler like kidnaps all these women and forces them to dance at his birthday party. So they hatch a plan to, since all the top brass are going to be there, this is the perfect time to take them all out.
This is definitely a Clyde special.
Oh, it's perfect. And it's Australian. And there's like basically the team is just like Team America. The team is like made up of people of all like different ethnicities. And then their commander is a guy with an eagle head, which made it even better. So, and on that note, we should probably shut this down. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me tonight, and thank you all in the chat room for joining us. Stick around for the post show. We will be selecting a title. So if you go to tvs.showbot.tv, you can vote for those titles now. If you're listening to this after the fact, you missed all the fun.
But you already know what the title is.
What?
But if you're listening to us after the fact, you already know what the title is.
You already know what the title is, but you missed out on all the fun of voting and submitting. So if you're looking at the title right now and you're going, that is a terrible title, if you weren't here to submit a better one, it's your fault. So join us. Join us sometime. 9 p.m. Central here on Twitch every Wednesday night. That's it, I guess. We say goodbye. Head over to the post show. Leave the audio listeners goodbye.
I think we should definitely say goodbye to the audio listeners.
All right.
See you guys.
Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you again next week.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.